Hello and welcome to Vox Markets. I am John Human. I'm delighted to be joined today by Matt Timmins of Fintel and Gareth Thompson of Plannr, which is a company that Fintel has recently invested in through its new Fintel Labs venture. Welcome, Matt. Welcome, Gareth.
Thank you, John. Good to see you again.
Yeah, good to see
Thank
you.
you.
Good to see you, Gareth. So this is really exciting. It's a new venture, Fintel Labs. Perhaps Matt, we could start by explaining what Fintel Labs is, what the aim of it is.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the first thing to say is that we all know that UK retail financial services is a very complicated market, and for advisors, it's incredibly so. A lot of regulation, thousands of products to research and understand, and therefore fintech is a core part of the market, and it's key to helping advisors to do a great job for their clients. There's a lot of manual processes still being used by intermediary firms. And on average, an intermediary firm will use 6, 7, 8 pieces of software just to get the job done for the client. So for us, investing into fintech is core to the aim of inspiring better outcomes across the market. And we really want to make sure that advisors have got access to the best technology available. And some of that technology comes from incumbents in the market that have been around a long time. But then there's also brand new tech that is coming into the market that needs to get airtime, needs to get space, needs to get distribution, and needs to be used by intermediary firms as we progress and we get used to more modern technology. So Fintel Labs was set up to invest into early stage businesses that have got great ideas, great technology, really modern way of developing and engineering, and some really slick processes in place, but haven't yet got to the stage where they're being thoroughly used and tested by the intermediary market. And we can bring a couple of things to bear there to help these businesses. One of those, clearly is financial investment to support the growth and development of those businesses. But just as importantly of that is the scale and breadth of our distribution. So we represent around a third of the market in terms of intermediary firms. So we very much believe we can help these businesses to gain traction and to grow their business. And so Fintel Labs is set up very simply to do that. It's to invest into early stage businesses that have got great technology, something new in the market, something modern and fresh, and to help them to accelerate their growth with sort of real pace and ambition. So that's the background behind Labs. We're delighted that Plannr is the first investment that we've made, and an absolutely fantastic business, and look forward to talking about it more.
Which we will in a minute. I mean, it's really a natural extension of what Fintel already is. I mean, there's a lot of technology behind Fintel already. This venture seems like a natural extension of what you've been doing for a very long time.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got a sort of fundamental services and technology platform that aims to build regulation into financial services technology in the form of RegTech. We've got an established platform in terms of de facto and the financial planning system that we offer out to advisors. But there's more to the platform than is currently there at the moment, and therefore adding in new tech into that platform is really exciting. So we're delighted that we've launched Fintel Labs. We think there are a small number of key acquisitions we will make, or partial acquisitions through Labs, and it's important that we choose the businesses that we believe are going to be around for decades to come. There's a lot of new startups out there, and we're assessing new businesses all the time. What we're really looking for are businesses that are crucial to the advice process and that have got something fundamentally different to what's out there at the moment. And as far as Plannr is concerned, the technology is beautiful. It's very intuitive. It's far less complicated than a lot of other systems there. And the way in which the guys are developing it, according to feedback from live intermediaries that are using the software, gives us a great deal of encouragement.
Yeah, exciting. I was going to ask you why Plannr, but I mean, you've pretty much answered that there. Gareth, perhaps you could tell us, about Plannr and wwhy you decided to build it, why it was something you felt that the industry needed.
Absolutely. So I think Plannr came about from hearing feedback or being involved in projects with advice firms over the last 13 years through another sort of web agency that I ran. And certainly over the last decade, there's been a lot of feedback coming our way about the lack of certain functionality in existing products that are out there. And we felt that with our existing community of advice firms that we had a relationship with, we could collaborate to spec out exactly what they wanted from a modern back office system or CRM. And that was very much the way it started. It was a collaborative effort with around 80 different businesses. And our main driver was just to build something that utilizes current technology, things that perhaps other systems weren't able to adapt due to the underlying age of their sort of core product. And just working closely with advice firms to build exactly what they wanted as that sort of first pass, I suppose.
And you know, so why Fintel? I guess you know we know that Fintel has scale and reach in this industry, but you know what is it about Fintel that you know makes them an ideal partner for you to work with?
So Fintel was an obvious choice for us. They already provide many services to advice businesses that link up or should link up with a single origin of truth for their client data. And so they have a wonderful reputation of delivering quality services to these advice businesses. So for us, the reach and the exposure that they have to a very large client base was very valuable. But also their independence and the fact that they're chosen by these firms because of the reputation that they have is really important to us.
So what is it, you know, what is it that your solution brings that's going to make life better for IFAs? This is a complicated business, lots of data floating around. Presumably you're gonna make that a lot easier for the IFA community.
Yeah, so fundamentally, this goes back to listening to that initial group of advice firms that helped shape Plannr. So there are some core simple benefits like the speed of use, the user interface, how much easier and simpler it is to do day-to-day things that are not revolutionary, but they account for a fair amount of time on a day-to-day basis with advice firms. So there's a lot of what we have in Plannr that is core to the way that a modern advice business works. But we've also innovated in certain ways where we've developed new tools that advice firms can use to drive efficiencies in their business, such as our automation engine, that when certain events happen within an advice business, it can go off and trigger multiple processes to happen behind the scenes. So really, fundamentally, it's about trying to push efficiencies and a greater use of technology. So communicating securely with clients through the client portal, building and generating documents easily and you know quickly with clients. It's just a core part of what we're doing with Plannr.
Yeah, and presumably you know this is built on you know the latest technologies that are out there, which presumably is very different to the way a lot of these sort of legacy systems in the industry actually work at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've started from a public API, and then our product is actually built on our own public API. So we really prove that building or separating out the infrastructure so that you've got an API that not only that our integrators can use in exactly the same way that we use. So every piece of data held in Plannr is available for integrators to enrich and work with as well. And I think fundamentally that makes a big difference to what we can achieve, because we can readily share data to cash flow forecasting tools, to financial planning tools, to AML providers, everything. So it's just much easier for everyone to consume the data and to actually enrich what we've built.
Yeah. And Matt, presumably this, you know, this really ties in with, you know, your overall, you know, approach to delivering these kind of technologically driven services to the IFA community. How does Plannr fit into the existing Fintel package then?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think core and fundamental to this is what Gareth touched on right at the start. this is a new way of developing modern software and modern technology. In the past, and we'd have been guilty of this as well in the past, you'd have spent ages building a system and a product, and then crossed your fingers and you hoped that when it was used in the real world, it was used in the right way. This now is an iterative and modern way of developing. So Gareth and the team are constantly changing and improving the software based on the feedback of this cohort of this 70 to 80 users. So we can take a lot of learnings from that within Fintel, and that will help us to progress the development of some of our existing systems as well. You might have read about the fact that we've already got a two-way integration with Plannr under development in terms of de facto. So that will now allow a two-way exchange of information to be able to go seamlessly from CRM into financial planning. And we think that is fundamentally important to the users, around 8,000 users of de facto software. So already Plannr is playing a key role in helping us to think about how we develop future pieces of software and to integrate with the ones that we've got at the moment. So it's not only about the product, but it's about the team, and it's about the mindset, it's about the way they develop, and it's about driving forward with constant change and pace. So yeah, I'm really, really excited by what we're going to do together.
Yeah. So it's not just about what you've bought; it's about where you can take it, I presume. So,
Exactly
right. Gareth, what sort of what's on the roadmap, or is this? I mean, is it so sort of live feedback from customer feedback that that you don't know what's coming until you hear it?
There's a lot on the roadmap that we already talk about and already share. So we're launching a innovative form builder in Plannr. We've got a rebuild of our document builder that works beautifully with Word documents and sort of highly designed templates. We have lots and lots of integrations with providers in the pipeline. We're looking at building in AI into any part of Plannr where it will help deliver useful time-saving benefits. So we're not just plugging in AI because it's a buzzword. We're sort of working with advice firms to establish where it could be useful. So in probably the not so distant future, there will be the ability to auto-suggest letters in Plannr through our document builder using AI. So it can help draft a letter, which ultimately saves maybe 20 minutes of someone's time. But again, it's that cumulative effect of saving time wherever we can. But yeah, there's some other very interesting integrations that we're doing that I'd love to talk about, but we can't really until it's closer to going live. But we always have ideas of things we would like to build, but we're very on a regular basis looking at what's being suggested by the community, and often our development sprints are a kind of perfect harmony of both what the community want and stuff that we can see that could save time and drive efficiencies, really.
Yes, it's the perfect approach to software development. I guess, I mean, you've mentioned time saving. I guess, Matt, for the IFAs that you already service, that really importantly translates into cost saving.
Yeah, it does, absolutely. And I guess, wider than that, another key reason why we've come together is that shared ambitions and a shared culture. Fintel is about trying to inspire better outcomes across the sector, and Plannr is all about trying to build beautifully intuitive software that saves advisors time and money and makes their life better. So those two cultures really come together, and if as a result of this, and we believe we will fundamentally save advisors time, first of all, in the way that they conduct workflow and give advice to clients. We believe over time we will save them logging into multiple different systems, and the convergence of Plannr and de facto as one ecosystem will enable an advisor to do the vast majority, if not all, of their financial planning needs. So it's about saving them money that they would currently spend with other vendors. It's about saving them time, and it's about making the journey and the process much more enjoyable as well, instead of going through clunky old pieces of software and having to manually type in stuff all the time. So I think that that combination works well, and it comes from a desire to just make things better.
Yeah. So would you say you're sort of heading towards the aim is to head towards a one-stop shop, so that you are the place where you come if you're an IFA and you want to run your business efficiently?
Yeah, look, the tricky thing with this is that's where you want to get to, but you have to be prepared to do both. So you've got to move towards that mentality of a one-stop shop so someone can take you for everything they need, but also be aware that, you know, these advisors are independent by nature and they will, you know, want to use other pieces of software for an occasional task, and therefore you've got to have the two-way integrations to also be able to come out of your own ecosystem and bring in another piece of third-party software. So you have to build out the capability with both of those mindsets in play.
Yeah, yeah. But I guess, Gareth, this is why, you know, the intuitive aspects of what you've built is so important. It's just, I guess, about making everything seamless and as easy as possible.
Yeah, and that extends not only to the sort of user interface that our clients are logging into, but also the ease of integrating with other solutions. And this goes to what Matt was saying a second ago, that there's always going to be a need to allow, or firms will always use the best of breed technology. And so it's core to us that what we've built is not only easy to use, but also easy to plug into. Because that way, that ecosystem of everything talking to each other and data moving freely between the systems that advice firms use, it just allows that to happen. So it's kind of critical to everything we're doing, really.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it is important stuff. I mean, it does feel like an industry, you know, wealth management in general, that and retail financial services, that is in need of a bit of a technological catalyst, as it were. I guess that's what you're delivering here, Matt.
Yeah, I think so. And I think if you looked at other sectors like, you know, areas of retail and fast-moving consumer goods, you know, they will be ahead of us in terms of, you know, the quality of their technology and the modernity of it and the way in which it transfers data to other systems. And I think in terms of financial services and particularly retail, we're playing a bit of catch up. And you're never going to catch up if you rely on, you know, businesses that have got software architecture that's 20 or 30 years old to try and catch up with what's happening in the world today. You need the new brains coming through. You need the new agile developers coming through. You need the new technology businesses that have got aspirations to build quicker and better. And, you know, companies like us that have got the resources to support those should be out helping these companies to grow and develop. And I think that kind of brings us full circle to why we did Fintel Labs and why Plannr and why we believe it's going to be great for the future.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Gareth, it strikes me as very strange that, you know, this industry, financial services, probably produces more data than any other industry out there, and yet is behind the curve. I guess this is the gap you spotted.
Yeah, I think so. Certainly, we spotted it, and certainly advisors spotted it as well. The feedback that they had about frustrations of wanting to be able to share the data with other systems. That's been an ongoing disappointment for advice firms for quite a while. And yeah, there is an opportunity to kind of build something that talks much easier to other systems and to harbor or make use of the data that advice firms are that they hold on their clients. There's a substantial amount of information that they have to gather in order to be able to deliver a positive outcome for clients. And there's also a lot that they're required to do from a regulatory point of view that involves moving that data or sharing that data. So yeah, there's absolutely an opportunity there to build something that makes that whole process easier.
Yeah, and you mentioned something there, which I think, Matt, we've spoken about before, which is outcomes. I guess, you know, making life easier for IFAs is one thing, but ultimately the end customer, it's all about them. It's all about delivering the best advice and the best service for them. And I guess that's where Fintel Labs is going to be going in the future as well.
Definitely, and you know, we think about outcomes for the end consumer in terms of how we rate financial products through de facto to help them thoroughly understand what products they're investing into or policies they're taking out. And then we think about that upstream from the consumer. So if we can make life easier for an advisor and they can do their job faster and more efficiently, then they can pass on those benefits to the consumer. And the same when it comes to product manufacturers. If through the use of the data that we're delivering, they can build and design better products more quickly that's more appropriate to today's consumer, then everyone wins. So the consumer is front of mind, but we're also working up and downstream from there to try and improve those outcomes.
So it sounds like, what you've actually got in Plannr is a foundation for perhaps the future of how you invest through Fintel Labs. This sounds like the sort of glue that could hold future investments together as you bring more services, more technology into your platforms.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. I mean, I think it's a foundation in two key ways. One, it's it's a foundation on how we make investments like this. This is the first time we have made an investment of this nature. And Gareth and the team have worked incredibly well with the team at Fintel, and therefore we believe we've got a blueprint going forward to add more businesses into Fintel Labs. So that's one key part of the foundation. The second part is the underlying quality of Plannr and the ability that a CRM system such as this has to affect all parts of the advice process is a key part of the platform for growth for us, and a key part of the foundation. So yes, absolutely. We feel that we've achieved both of those things in this one deal, and we're excited to add to that. There will be other investments through Fintel Labs, and you will see that they're very, very closely aligned to the strategy that we've got through De facto and through Plannr to grow our services and tech platform.
Yeah, it's a great first investment. It really sounds like it could bring some significant benefits to the IFA industry, and as we've said, ultimately to retail financial services consumers. Thank you so much for talking to us, Matt and Gareth.
Perfect. Thanks, John. Thanks for having us on.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.